Hello everyone, David Hebbard here. Today in this live, I just want to talk to people about why your mentality matters in your business. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, even if it's just a small business owner, therapist, doesn't matter what it is. In the end of the day, you're in business for a reason and you're doing a service. And the reason why your mentality is important for this is because sometimes you need to evaluate, you need to restructure. Sometimes we need to look at things in a different way. And keeping our mentality in the right way, in the right system, and understanding that it is important to stay focused. But why don't we? The issue is sometimes we're on that wrong wall. We've got so much happening. You know that you need to do this, but you need to do that. And it is very hard for you to focus sometimes. Because being in business is not just about a straight road. It's a zigzaggy road. It's got challenges, it's got obstacles, it's got all different types of structures that you need to be taken into consideration. A lot of times in business, you also find that you're focusing so much on the business, you forget about yourself. And this is why we need to look at their mentality differently. This is why we need to structure the right attitude, the right mentality to be what we want to be. We've all got a reason why you want to be in a business. It doesn't matter if it's just to serve somebody or if it's a product. You're in business for a reason. You're also in business because you want to have the life that you want. But it's not always like that. You work long hours, sometimes weeks on end. We don't get many breaks. And then you wonder what's going on. You find yourself lacking in the focus. You find yourself lacking in your own personal health. Because in the end of the day, your mentality is good. It's nothing wrong with it. But where is it sitting? Like, how are you adjusting to that? Are you looking after your mentality? Are you looking after the way you want what you want to achieve? Are you doing it on your own? And this is the biggest one. We feel that you have to do it on your own. But you don't have to do it on your own. The thing is that we've got something to give. You've got something to give. Everyone has something to give. We've got ways of doing that. And this is why we need to look at the mentality of the business. Sometimes, okay, for an instance, what's the mentality of your business like? Say if you have a restaurant, and in that restaurant, your staff is not turning up, you're finding hard to keep staff, but then you're in there stressing all the time. And when you're stressing all the time, in your business, your mentality is producing stress. It's producing anxiety and it passes it on to other people. But if you can have the right mentality and look at stress as a healthy thing in a business and go, okay, yes, you're going to have stressful times, but it's about having that right way to going over that stress, going through that stress, and a way to deal with things in a different way. This is all comes down to having that right mentality. Where do you want to go? How do you want to produce? Because a lot of times you don't want to be in a normal job, do you? That's why you're in business. That's why you want to be in your own business, because you're out there to serve. You're out there to help people. In the end of the day, you've got something, a purpose, a gift that you want to give. And having that meaning, having that gift, understanding that the mentality of why you're in the business in the first place can be enough to say, okay, what do I need to do? Your business might be in a way of the mentality say, okay, you're feeling stuck because you can't change something because the industry doesn't allow you to. And this is a big one. This is across for therapists, coaches, shops, everyone, because the industry is telling them that they can't do that. So they feel they're stuck. If you can't grow in your current situation in your business, then start looking at other things that you could put in behind it, beside it. That is what we're looking at mentality. This is why we look at something in a different way. If one product cannot be growing anymore and it's hit its capacity, well, then you need to start creating other products or something else on the side to create as well. Because we don't want to stay in a comfort zone in business either. And this is why we look at the mentality. If we're staying in a comfort zone, then we're going, well, we can't go any further. For one, you're saying I can't all the time. We can't do this, we can't do that. Well, you're creating also the language as well for belief systems. So in the end of the day, we need to look at the structure differently. Yeah, this product might not be able to grow, but how can you recreate something? Okay, the customers only want this product. So your mentality is stuck on this one product. What's saying that you can't have a second or a third? Because this one's already hit its capacity. You need to flow it into other ways. And this is why we need to create a different mentality. We need to look at mentality as, okay, I could be in a stuck, comfortable mentality, or I can go into a growth mentality, a winning mentality. It's about you developing bigger than what you want to be. If you're comfortable staying where you are, and that's okay too, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing saying that your mentality of being where you are is nothing wrong with that. But if you're wanting to grow, if you're wanting to have that life that you're actually been wanting, but then you got to do something different. It's about recreating something and going, okay, how do we want to come across? We could just stay here, or we could move forward and create something else. Nothing wrong with this, but we need to create this so that we could probably have more time on our hands. Because a lot of you went on to business on your own because you want more time. You wanted that more time with families, more times for holidays, but it hasn't worked out that way. And for a lot of people, it hasn't. A lot of you will go start up on your businesses, or you'll start up and you'll get into the years, but because of that focus and mentality is dropping by the day, because you're not getting what you want and what you're in for, you end up not having the business later on down the track. They say only 1% make it after 5 years. This is the reason why. This is the reason why 1% make it. Because they've put everything they've got, but their focus is dropping. Because then in the end of the day, their mentality of the business is like, well, no one's going my service. I can't do this. I'm feeling stuck. And you need to create a different mentality to say, okay, this may not be working, but it's not failure. That's just the feedback that I needed to move to what I need to do. And this is what we need to create. It's not as simple as us going in a straight line in business. Business has never been a straight line. And we've got to look at it like this. Are you in it for a sprint or a marathon? Because a lot of the people that have gotten up where they are, they haven't done it in a sprint. They've always done it in a marathon. Because you're rushing. If you rush too much, you're creating the wrong mentality. And we want to look at it and go, okay, it is a marathon. It is an obstacle course. Let's play with it. Let's go with it. Let's take that challenges with it. And by taking those challenges each day, you're looking at it in a different way. You're looking at the outcome all the time. You're not looking at the negative sides. You're always looking at how you can build on that ability, how you can build on those challenges. You're looking on how you can get around those obstacles. You might say, start off on this section here, and then realize that it wasn't really sitting with you. It wasn't really working with you, and you're like, oh, that's it. You can ask, that's it, I give up. Or you can look at it and go, well, that's all right. That's just one part. I can go to a different part, and let's try that. Sometimes you might have to test things. You might have to test things a few times to see if they are worth the hassle or worth the challenges for. And it's not saying that it's not worth it. It's just there's some things out there that just aren't viable for a business. That's just the way it is. Business is business. We need, it is designed for you to have the right mindset. If we can only raise so far, and then that's it, we've got to look at what can we do, other ways to raise up higher. It's good. Well, let's do that. Let's get that bar up to where you want to be, but let's expand. Let's look at different avenues so you can go up higher. And this is about creating the right mentality, the right mindset to do it. Because in the end of the day, by the way you do that, you start looking at it in a different way. We may be stuck in the industry, for instance, but it doesn't mean you can't recreate something different. Why do you think when we look at something in a different way, look at, I'm just trying to think, what are they? U-Foods. They wanted to supply fresh food for people. So what they do? They recreated something. Because where they started, they can only grow so far. So what they did was change the process. Now everyone gets it. It's no different to Light and Easy. I don't know if many people know Light and Easy, but same thing. They grew in a different way because they had to reapproach the different situation. It's always changing. It's always developing. The reason why we've got to look at it in a different way is because society changes all the time. So the way that things change, the technology changes, everything changes. We've got to move with the times. We've got to go with the processes. And it's about growing with it and having that mentality to grow with it and say, okay, this is what I got to do. It's about not stopping. It's about moving forward and always saying, okay, what do I need to do differently? This has happened, now how do I do it differently? What do I need to learn? What do I need to get myself into? What studies do I need to look at differently? What avenues do I need to look at? And it's about growing that way and having that right mentality to do that, because it can be frustrating. It can be challenging. It can cause stress. It can cause anxiety. But you know what? You're in business for a reason. You want to be in business for a reason. Now let's look at that reason and let's make it grow. So that's what I wanted to talk to everyone about today. And thank you everyone that came on board and to listen to this live. Please share and like this. That way we can pass it on to people that know that could really benefit from this video. And I look forward to seeing you in my next live. And everyone have a great day, evening or night. See yous.